130, I'm sorry. It's, page 134.
One is that who's is the Anurag Yadav, is it?
Yes. And Amit Anand is 132.
132.
Yes. 131 is my mistake, my lord. Anurag Yadav we are finding out. 132 is Amit Anand. And relevant, your lordships may go through the entire.
Mr. Solicitor is Abhyut Sikandar Prasad.
Yes, that's my mistake, my lord. I'm just trying to find out.
Is,
next is, my lord, 132 is Amit Anand. I'm finding out, my lord, the.
130.
At 133 bottom, possibly your lordships will get the relevant part of Amit Anand. Next, page 132 is Amit Anand.
Yes.
Amit Anand, my lord, is a middleman. Just to give the context so that your lordships can read the paper, read the statement in the context. But please see 133 at the bottom, some 10th line. उसे आप परीक्षा में पास करा दीजिए. Your lordship gets.
Yes.
He was collecting the students on the night of 4th so that he gets the papers on 5th, which is coming in Nitish Kumar's statement. Nitish Kumar was at the place where he received a paper in the morning and students were asked to memorize. 134 is Nitish.
Just see page 88.
It
This
is
is Amit Anand's first statement.
88 minutes?
88.
Yes.
And then see page 89 about the last 10 to 15 lines, his speech. Got that? Isi speech. 89. About say 12 lines on the bottom.
Yes.
इसी बीच last 3 words in that sentence, that line, इसी बीच नीट का परीक्षा आ गया था. सिकंदर सो बताया कि चारों लड़कों को कब बुलाएं.
Possibly this is the FIR, not the statement.
Right. तो मैंने बताया
संक्षिप्त वर्तमान अपराध की विस्तृत
statement. This is Amit Anand's statement.
Amit Anand, yes.
तो मैंने बताया कि 4-5 के रात्रि में बुलाई है.
Yes.
जहाँ पर सिकंदर के द्वारा सभी चारों लड़कों को नीट परीक्षा का प्रश्न पत्र लीक करवाकर सभी बच्चों को उत्तर के साथ पढ़वाया एवं रटवाया जा रहा है.
रात्रि में बुलाइए, नहीं रात्रि में बुलाइए, कॉल देम. इसी बीच नीट का परीक्षा आ गया था. सिकंदर यादवेंद्र द्वारा बताया गया कि चारों लड़का को कल बुलाए, तो मैंने बताया कि 4-5-24 की रात्रि में बुलाइए, जहां पर सिकंदर यादवेंद्र के द्वारा सभी चारों लड़कों को नीट परीक्षा का प्रश्न पत्र लीक करवाकर सभी बच्चों को उत्तर के साथ पढ़वाया एवं रटवाया जा रहा था.
This indicates that the students were being asked to memorize on the night of the 4th, which means that the leak had occurred prior to the 4th.
No, would your lordship?
And now just see page 92. Just see page 92.
Yes.
This is the statement of Nitish Kumar.
The Nitish Kumar statement, my lord, at page 134 may kindly be seen.
So we just see page 92. This is the first statement.
Yes.
बीच में
Yes.
बातचीत के क्रम में
somewhere बातचीत, yes. स्वयं तो बताया गया कि मेरे पास भी लड़का है जिसे आप परीक्षा में पास करा दीजिए, तो नीट की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, उसके बदले में तथा अमित आनंद बताएं कि 30 रुपया लगेगा. सिकंदर तैयार हो गया, बताया कि 4 लड़का हम आप देंगे. नीट परीक्षा से एक दिन पूर्व के संध्या में मैं चिंटू एवं पिंटू मतलब 2 एक्यूज तथा आशुतोष मिलकर लर्नेड प्ले स्कूल में नीट की परीक्षा के लिए आए अभ्यर्थियों को नीट का प्रश्न उत्तर सहित रटवाने लगा. प्रश्न पत्र चिंटू के मोबाइल नंबर 100 पर आया था, जिसे अभ्यर्थियों को उत्तर सहित रटवाया दिया गया था तथा परीक्षा समाप्ति के बाद काम हो जाने पर मैं 100 के लीक प्रश्न पत्र को के छत पर पानी टंकी के बगल में साक्ष्य मिटाने हेतु आग लगा दिया. इस परीक्षा में मेरे पास कुल 13 अभ्यर्थी थे, जिसे मैंने नीट का प्रश्न पत्र उत्तर सहित रटवाया था. नाउ प्लीज सी माय लॉर्ड 134 नीतीश कुमार. Just your lordship, my lord, because your lordship will get the context. Thereafter, my lord, it was transferred to EOU. Kindly have a look at, my lord, page 132. Amit Anand's statement recorded by EOU. It's more elaborate and a little more in-depth. Your lordship gets, my lord, 132.
At the last word on page 131.
Yes.
दिनांक 4/5 को इनके साला व पत्नी रीना देवी तथा साला सो जिन्होंने गेस्ट हाउस में रुकवा दिया.
Yes. They all gathered at night, my lord. That is true.
पूर्व निर्धारित योजना अनुसार दिनांक 4/5 को रात्रि में उक्त चारों अभ्यर्थियों को सगुना मोड़ खगोल रोड में अमित आनंद व एवं नीतीश कुमार को नीट 2024 परीक्षा में आने वाले प्रश्नोत्तर रटवाने के लिए सौंप दिए थे.
They were handed over. You get them memorized.
Investigation is botched up by the stand being taken by Government of India, my lord. The matter is under investigation. The kind of stand being taken.
Don't take it Government of India. I am answerable to these students. I am answerable to other students. And more, I am answerable to the court. Well, let us not do it like this.
We are just analyzing these cases.
Yes, my lord. All of them were gathered.
Amit Anand seems to be suggesting that the leaked question papers were given to the students for memorization on the night of the 4th.
No, my lord. What happens is, what actually happened during the CBI investigation is, all students were gathered and put at a particular place so as to enable them to memorize as and when the paper is available, which comes, my lord, from the statement of Amit Anand. Lord, please read statement of Amit Anand. Your lordships are on page 132. Lord, I am just reading the bare facts. I am not, Lord, taking any stand. Page 132, Amit Anand, my lords. And thereafter, Nitish Kumar. And they are giving statements when they were not obviously aware that this would be scrutinized by the court. So this is a first-hand account.
Papers were online. After the papers were online, and then
So assistance may be incomplete. That's all I'm saying. Kindly report. Sorry, second report. Para 98. No, before that, would your lordships accept my request of reading two more statements from EOU? In this context, please read the report.
Just only one.
Be not incomplete picture in your lordship's mind.
Keep that page 2 in 1 minute.
132. Lord, para 97 onwards, in the second report, your lordships would find assistance for this particular part.
Solicitor, you just look at now those two statements you were telling us. Okay?
132, Manoj.
132.
That's Manoj in the Bihar police statement. The statement recorded by EOU. Initially, it was local police, transferred to economic offences wing. Where, Manoj, it is a little more detailed. Page 132 at the foot.
That is Amit Anand.
Amit Anand, yes, Manoj. His statement. Kindly come to the next page, 133. I am not skipping what is not relevant either way for the present purpose, my lords. Kindly see from the 10th line, somewhere 10th line from the bottom. Is पर सिकंदर प्रसाद यादवेंद्र बोले, your lordship gets my lord, some.
Yes.
कि उनके पास भी 4-5 लड़का है जो परीक्षा देने वाले हैं, उसे आप परीक्षा में पास करा दीजिए, इसके बदले में स्वयं वे बताए कि 4 लड़का हम आपको देंगे। ये नो काइंडली सी दिस, मतलब ये दिनांक 4/5/24 को रात्रि में सिकंदर प्रसाद यादवेंदु से उन 4 अभ्यर्थियों का सो से प्राप्त किए तथा अपने कार से चारों को लेकर नीतीश कुमार के पास न्यू बाईपास चले गए। प्लीज मार्क दिस। नीतीश कुमार अपने एवं उनके अन्य अभ्यर्थियों को लेकर लर्नेड बॉयज स्कूल एवं सो में लेकर चला गया, जहां पर सभी विद्यार्थियों को अगले दिन करीब 10 बजे नीट का प्रश्न उत्तर सहित रटवा दिया गया। 10 बजे। नाउ प्लीज सी, ये भी अपने परीक्षार्थी एवं अन्य परीक्षार्थी तथा सिकंदर प्रसाद के साथ परीक्षा केंद्रों पर घूम कर सभी को सेंटर पर पहुंचा दिए और अपने फ्लैट पर पहुंच गए और खाना खाए एटसेट्रा। काइंडली सी द नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट ऑफ नीतीश कुमार. Nitish Kumar is the person who not only brings students, he was at that school, Learn Boys School. So the lordships can come to page 134, 7 lines from the bottom. उसके बाद दिनांक 4/5 ये lordship gets. Page 134. I can read the whole, but it may not assist either way. For this particular purpose of date, my lord. But does your lordship get the date? उसके बाद दिनांक 4/5 को रात्रि में अमित आनंद द्वारा सेटिंग किए गए 6 लड़के जो अमित ने मुझे नई बाईपास अपने कार से लाकर दे दिए थे, सिकंदर प्रसाद यादवेंद्र के 4 लड़के तथा अमित आनंद के 2 लड़के को लर्न बॉय हॉस्टल एवं लर्न बॉय स्कूल जो रामाकृष्ण नगर में है पर लेकर गया। वहां सभी लड़कों को चिंटू उर्फ बलदेव कुमार पिता सो गांव सो एवं सो को हैंडओवर कर दिए। इनसे इनकी बात सो के मोबाइल नंबर सो पर होती रही। यह हॉस्टल एवं स्कूल आशुतोष कुमार द्वारा किराए पर लिया हुआ है। आशुतोष कुमार इज द ओनर ऑफ दैट particular premises where this happened. जिसने इनका संपर्क सो एंड सो के माध्यम से इसी काम से लिए हुआ था ना, नाउ रीड दिस, जिसे चिंटू उर्फ सो एंड सो ने एक दिन के लिए सेट किया था और आशुतोष कुमार से मोटे रकम में हिस्सेदारी की बात की थी, दिनांक 5/5 को चिंटू के मोबाइल के व्हाट्सएप पर
statements 88 and 132 are at variance.
At variance.
88, he says that the leak had taken place on the night of the 4th, when the question paper was given to these candidates for memorization. 132, he says that it was received on the mobile of Chintu in the morning on the 5th, and then was given for to the students ratta lagane ke liye diya tha. So Amit Anand's two statements are a little at variance.
Amit Anand's first
and Nitish is also at variance, but Nitish's first statement is also 4th/9. Like,
but not
all first statements seem to indicate that the leak takes place on the night of the 4th.
But I must tell you, Lordships, on the
question, how was this confined to Learned Boys High School? Was it confined to Hazaribagh?
I'll answer that, my lord, when my turn comes.
That's what
But my lord, kindly appreciate this.
Solicitor, because the line which we are following of inquiry is, if the leak has taken place on the night of the 4th, then obviously the leak has not taken, it wouldn't take place from the strong room of SBI or Canara Bank. Nobody can access the strong room. Then obviously the leak took place not in the process of the papers being transferred to the examination center, but it takes place at a prior point of time, prior to the storage in the vault.
Which we have examined and found to be every thing to be intact. I'll be able to show. But please see my lord, statement of Chintu at page 236.
Two of the problem solvers are at least 7. All problem solvers are students. None of them is a professor. Nobody is of that level of an expert. They're all students.
I was told that for this work, professors, the students are better qualified because they've recently prepared everything. They have the computer with them. They have books with them.
They are from Ames Patna. One is from Ranchi, and 2 are brought from Rajasthan.
Yes. Now, what is done is
brought from Rajasthan.
That is not under investigation, my lord, because maybe there is some personal linkage or something. But what they did was they bifurcated the papers, so each got 25 to 30 questions each, and they had 1 hour. So 25 to 30 questions with a reasonable knowledge and with help of computer and books, you can always solve.
Now what we do,
and we have also, my lord, can you bear one factor in mind? We have done an exercise after the last hearing as to what is the success rate in this particular center, this particular city, and overall state, and we compared it with 22 and 23. There is no abnormality. Even in this, which I'll be able to show. And my lord, kindly 236, my lord, page,
you can now show us the
page 236, the last.
Then we have to complete.
My lord, 236.
This is Chintu's.
Yes, Chintu Baldev Kumar, my lord, at the last, my lord, para. Dinank 5/5.
Is there an earlier statement of Chintu also?
We must be having our statement. We have our statement recorded after.
Page 229.
229.
This is also a statement of Chintu.
The same statement.
Is it in continuation? This.
But it's the same statement. I don't know why they have repeated. But
ends at 232.
yes, my lord. And if your lordship sees, my lord, page 231.
Read the second paragraph.
Look, 231, my lord?
Yes.
Yes. My lord, the same is I was showing at 236. So it appears to be a repetition. But I'll read, my lord, from 231, my lord, as your lordships have seen. दिनांक 5/5/24 को 9 बजे प्रातः तक करीब 24-25 नीट यूजी 2000 परीक्षा देने वाले अभ्यर्थी वहां पर जमा हो गए थे। मैं पीने वाला पानी का बोतल भी वहां गाड़ी से पहुंचाया था। दिन के करीब 10 बजे रॉकी ने मेरे पास मौजूद नए मोबाइल पर सॉल्व किया हुआ प्रश्न पत्र भेजा। मामा संजीव एवं रॉकी के गिरोह के एक लड़के ने मुझे वाईफाई प्रिंटर दिया था, जिसे नीतीश कुमार द्वारा लर्न प्ले स्कूल छपरा के रूम में सेट किया गया था। सो एंड सो द्वारा भी एक वाईफाई प्रिंटर दिया गया था। सबसे पहले सो एंड सो का सॉल्व किया हुआ प्रश्न पत्र मिला, जिसे हमें लोगों ने मोबाइल को वाईफाई प्रिंटर से कनेक्ट कर सॉल्व कर दिया। As and when they started solving the papers, they started giving. It was not given in one go. First was biology. कनेक्ट कर सॉल्व किया हुआ प्रश्न पत्र का प्रिंट निकाला और उपस्थित सभी अभ्यर्थी को सॉल्व किया हुआ प्रश्न पत्र का प्रिंट रटने के लिए दिया गया। इसके बाद फिजिक्स और केमिस्ट्री का सॉल्व किया हुआ प्रश्न पत्र एक साथ मिला।
You can show us the data which you have now. What do you have to say on the basis of the data?
Yes,
all India data or whatever. We have all India data.
I will show.
So we'll hear them on the response on the data. So,
Lord, allow me first, Lord, just give their
only 236, my lord, Justice Pardiwala's, my lord. 236, which I was reading, is the same which your lordships.
they're identical.
They're identical. My lord. I do not know why they are two similar statements.
Please read Anurag Yadav is the only student. All the other people are members of the class. Anurag Yadav's first statement.
We've read Anurag. We've read Anurag Yadav's.
Might be 131.
We have got that at page 131.
Lord,
Anurag Yadav says, I got it on the night of the 4th.
Yes.
Sir.
But now, anyway, we still have to see whether it's localized, assuming for a moment,
We'll
that the theory that the paper was distributed, that the solved question papers were made available at about 10:15, and between 9:20 and 10:15, these 7 chaps solved all the questions and gave to the school. Assume that for a moment, we may not entirely accept that. We have to hear the other side. Even so, is the leak systemic, or is it only confined to Hazaribagh and Patna? That you'll have to establish something on the basis of data.
Yes, Lord.
Show us now what the data tells you.
Lord, before I come to data,
Up to now, we are only focused on Hazaribagh and Patna, right? Whether the leak takes place on the morning of the 5th, as CBI is telling us, whether it took place on the night of the 4th, and therefore the leak took place before lodging in the vault. How widespread is it? We don't have any other material apart from this that you have shown us to indicate that the leak was so widespread that it had gone all over the country. Now show us the data which will
yes, allow me, Lord, just 4-5 minutes before I come to the data. Lord, because between the last date and today, we have got a lot of information that how actually this exam is being conducted by this NTA. Lord, very briefly, Lord, because
assuming that the examination should be conducted in a much better way.
I'm not on that, Lord.
That we will see what they are doing
Lord,
for the
I will
future.
show why a particular data is as such. Just give me 2-3 minutes, Lord, before that. Lord, NDA, Lord, on the first date, this Honorable Court put it to them. Give us the complete chart that where the printing happened, how much time printing, how much time it reached the center, then where deposited, what time it was taken out, taken to the center, how much time is the examination?
As we see, find out now, printing takes place. The CBI third report tells us where printing takes place.
At two places, different states, and they are never declared or tendered.
We don't want to mention that because I mean, because obviously that will.
We don't also tender, because otherwise the highest tenderer becomes open. That he is the printer. Whoever is the highest tenderer becomes the printer.
From CBI's third report, we find out the name of one place where the printing press was situated, where it says 28 28th April, it had left that printing.
If your lordships, I'll take your lordship through the journey of the papers from the printing press till the school, and what are the checks and balances on real-time basis. That there is some tempering, it would be noticed somewhere. That I'll be able to show.
Let me very briefly capture that. 24th of April, they say that the dispatch happens to different centers. So far as Hazaribagh is concerned, 28th of April. Everywhere, the question paper was to reach the respective banks on 3rd of May. And 5th of May is the examination. So the question paper remained in private hands for fairly long time. From 24th of April till 3rd of May. I leave it there, Lord. They say that from everywhere, the center in charge will go to the bank in the morning. Lord, I'm showing the mechanism and how brittle and fragile the mechanism is, that the entire mechanism which they have followed.
Wait, just give us the facts.
Yes. Now, in the morning, they say 8:15, the center in charge of the examination will reach the bank to collect the paper. What has actually happened, which is the documents on record, taking example of Dayal School, Bahadurgarh, Jhajjar, Hardayal School, Bahadurgarh, Jhajjar, the principal of the center goes to both the banks, collect papers from both the banks, distributes the paper taken from Canara Bank. Paper taken from Canara Bank is allowed to be attempted for all 3 hours and 20 minutes. And then they say that we over and above, because on 4th of April, they did not declare any other key except the key for SBI bank question paper. When it appeared that from this Hardayal School, Jhajjar, there are 6 candidates who get number 1, 100% marks, 720 out of 720. 2 candidates get 719 and 718. So it came out that how come from this center 8 people comes within first 69 and this number is not possible. NTA came out with a theory that no, we have given a grace marks because there is a delay. I have seen the video of the principal of this Hardayal school, which says, and it is openable even now, which says that there was no delay in this center. In fact, we distributed Canara Bank paper when it was already half an hour.
The correct set was to be the SBI paper.
Correct. That's right. That's right.
Everywhere.
And they declared entire country.
It's not everywhere.
Entire country, blood.
Entire country was SBA. Yes, your lordship, sir.
Of course, different configurations, as Brother Mishra said, because the questions will be jumbled up.
Even in the one classroom.
Yeah. Obviously.
In one classroom also.
Sitting next to each other can't know which is the order.
Which is the order. One of the things which is going on in the social media is that 2 numbers sitting with each other, both got 600 marks. How is it possible? But both would have, the system is that both sitting in front and back and both sitting on the sides, they have different numbers.
Not in the same order of questions.
They don't have. My question number 1 would be his question number 18.
Do that in the judicial.
So we can't even do that. Orthodox way of cheating also is not possible.
Let me place the hard facts, how they have done it. So Hardayal school, admittedly, they distributed Canara Bank. The Canara Bank question paper was attempted by all the about 500 people in the center.
How long?
For till 5:20 is the last time. There's no delay. The principal is on record of the school and they say.
So it's not that in the middle of the exam they substitute the SBI.
But that happened Savai Madhopur. I'll come to that. Hardayal school, Canara Bank paper was given. In the first instance, when Canara Bank paper was not to be the paper to be attempted, how come it was even given to them? What is the SOP? How meticulously they followed it, what they say is. And The principal got question paper from both the banks and both banks gave it.
Mr. Solicitor, just since little bit of query on the procedural. One set is lodged with Can Bank, one is with SBI. Now, the center in charge on the morning of the exam goes to both the banks and takes the
No,
question.
the city in charge is informed that this is the bank from where you will have to collect the paper.
When she informed the day of the exam.
In the morning at 7
So
o'clock.
the city in charge will inform all the centers in charge in the morning that you have to go to this particular
This
branch.
particular center.
Now, how did this chap at Judicial go and collect it from Canara Bank when he had to? He must have been told that you have to go to the SBI to collect the paper.
No, that may be a mistake or something. Or deliberate. But paper was
Now, Judicial, we just wanted some clarity on Judicial. So he collects the paper from the Canara Bank.
correct, my lord.
Students write throughout the 3 hours and 20 minutes. They write the Canara Bank sets of questions, right? Now, thereafter, what happens in Judicial? Everybody is given grace mark. What happens in Judicial?
But what they say is because they never disclose key for Canara Bank paper.
1 second, let's have clarity. We just ask for
Yeah, my lord, my learned can.
Let's
Just 1 second, man. He has his instructions. Let's get the official version first. For Judicial,
Yes,
what happened exactly in the book?
so Judger was a new center. Your lordships are aware the number of candidates have increased. As a result whereof we have to increase the number of centers also and city coordinators also. This place was added for the first time in 2024 as an examination center. Perhaps the city coordinator must not have seen the message that you have to pick it up from this place. As a result whereof this happened to be picked up from both the places.
But are the banks not informed that, look, don't release the bank paper to anybody, release only the State Bank of India paper? Because the vault in charge has been informed कि आपको paper surrender करना है आज, आपको distribute करना है.
Authorization is given,
Because the NTA would inform the city in charge.
Yes.
City in charge will relay the message to the center in charge.
Yes.
But will a message not go to the bank also that, all right, कैन बैंक का आपको अपने लॉकर में ही रखना है, स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया का जो पेपर है वो आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है.
It goes to the bank. He also committed. It goes to
Definitely go to the bank also. So how did this bloke at Judicial, the center in charge, how did he go to Canara Bank and retrieve the Canara Bank paper?
That is a mistake on their part,
It was Canara Bank's mistake.
Both minutes at both places. City coordinator.
So anyway, so the Judicial in charge gets the center in charge gets the Canara Bank paper.
Yes, please.
That is distributed to the candidates, and the candidates write the entire exam for 3 hours 20 minutes on the Can Bank paper.
Lordship. And this is at 8 centers. The number of such candidates who got Canara Bank paper is 3,307. And their sequence is MNOP. And we have used the
So at Judicial, how many there are 8 centers?
8 centers
And everywhere they
all over India. Let's
All over India, not
all over India. It has happened at 8 centers.
all over India.
All over India. Some places, minutes like Chhattisgarh, your lordships came to know.
But the wrong question paper.
Yes, minutes. Not confined to
question
Judicial.
papers, my lord, are of the same difficulty level. It's not as if one is simpler and another.
At 8 centers, the wrong booklet was distributed.
Yes,
Which was the CanBank booklet.
yes, minutes. Only two booklets are available. Minutes. There is the third.
Then what happened in Judicial? Then the students wrote the whole of the paper for
Yes.
3 hours, 20 minutes of
Yes,
Judicial.
because of the situation, minutes that it could not be discovered by them that we have distributed a wrong paper. It came to the knowledge much later. As a result whereof, it was considered
Then
More
what happened?
appropriate.
Then what happened?
it was considered more appropriate to allow them to attempt this question paper only.
First they gave
One
grace mark.
second, we are just understanding what happened. So the students are allowed, they appeared for the entire examination in the,
Yes, on the basis of Canara Bank question paper.
then
And the difficulty level of this question, both the papers minutes, because anyone can be distributed, are modulated by the experts to be of the same level.
now, where was the occasion to give, totally how many students at these 8 centers?
8 centers, total number of students is 3,307.
Now, initially NTA takes a decision to award grace marks to those?
No minutes, only after it came to be realized that some places the loss of time was there. Only then the decision was taken.
Loss of time means what?
After realizing when the complaints are there, students approach the honorable courts also saying that because of wrong distribution of paper, we could not avail the exact number of exact time which is available to the others.
Why? Because students had appeared for the full 3 hours, 20 minutes. It is not as if that the correct paper was circulated midway through the exam. Suppose sometimes what happens is that the incorrect paper is given. Instead of algebra, you give the English paper. By the time the algebra paper comes, half an hour has gone by. Students were never given the SBI paper at these 8 centers. They were given only the CanBank paper.
At Judicial, this happened. At some places, this was withdrawn and correct paper was also given. There are centers where this happened,
Now,
like in Chhattisgarh.
Now, how many centers was
Just
the,
verify, my lord.
at how many centers was the incorrect question paper withdrawn?
I am appearing for NT also. I am appearing for both.
Kaushik, at how many centers was the incorrect question paper withdrawn? The
and
correct
correct paper.
Exactly, my lord, that's all. In some centers, even after realizing that instead of Canara, SPI is given, or
they continue to write.
they continued to write, and 3 hours, 20 minutes time allotted was given. So we are not concerned with that. In some cases,
They withdrew that.
they withdrew it halfway and said that now we are giving you another, because
How many centers did that happen?
that figure is, my lord, 1, 3.
I'll come to Savai Madhopur, Millard.
This has been isolation.
Millard, I'll come to all that, Millard, if they can respond to.
63 students were such that we, as per our examination, that the papers were taken back halfway and they were asked to complete the new paper within that 320 minutes.
Millard, where
Since
attempt
that could
only
not
Canara
happen.
Bank. Millard, halfway is a different story. Millard, halfway is a different story. First is the Canara Bank.
At 8 centers, we found that wrong booklet was distributed. Now, at all these 8 centers, the students complete the examination only in the Canara Bank booklet.
Yes, how many?
Canara Bank only minutes.
We'll
8
give another
centers.
This
list.
is,
8 centers, right?
this we will further bifurcate.
Now, tell us, how many centers apart from these 8 was the wrong booklet withdrawn and the correct
Yes,
booklet given to the
I
students?
will give the correct number of that also.
Yeah, just ask.
We'll bifurcate, yes, minutes.
Just you can sit down and ask the problem.
If in the meantime I can.
Just 1 second, let them. We'll also have a little break for 10 seconds.
कुछ निकल रहा है.
But in Judger, I received the instructions. But Judger has 3 centers.
Yes.
In one, the entire Canara paper was attempted and nobody disturbed the students thereafter. In remaining 2, realizing the mistake, the paper was taken back halfway and new paper was given. And therefore they said that we did not get sufficient time, which was true.
Right. Now, why were the grace marks added then?
Initially, my lord, it was decided, which according to me, my lord, was not a very correct decision, that there is some judgment of your lordships in case of a
That's that.
nul's clat, my lord, that if there is a time problem, if time is less, time available to the student is less, then this is the methodology by which you give the grace marks. That grace marks were given. Thereafter, my lord, that decision was,
Was recalled in a retest, was it?
yes, that was those who did not get the time will get a new paper and new 3 hour 20 minutes.
Now, that retest was held for 1563 students.
Yes.
Now, these 1563 students were drawn from which centers?
My lord, wherever there was a time gap. Page 19 of
Retest is held, that really now, that really doesn't provide.
But there are 2-3 things into it. One, why grace marks to the students who attempted Canara Bank paper? Why grace marks? On 4th of June, they were granted, on 4th of June, they declared only one key. That is the SBI Bank question paper key. There was no Canara Bank paper key.
So, 1 second.
How they evaluated those people without declaring a key?
Now this grace mark was given initially to whom?
Grace mark was given to the center numbers, which we have given the time number also, which is 1.
Was the grace mark given to only those who got the SBI paper in the midstream, or what happened?
The grace marks were given only to those persons from whom the paper was initially given, which was withdrawn, and subsequently given the correct paper.
Right.
That is all. In some,
Now, what happened to those students who appeared in the wrong paper, the Can Bank paper?
their marks were given on the basis of the answer key of their sequence paper.
And they were not made to have the retest.
No, no.
Because the level of difficulty is roughly
Yeah,
the
same.
same. Now, so therefore, the grace marks were given only to those whose papers were withdrawn and given the
Yes,
correct, because they couldn't complete the
Which
paper.
we counted as 1563.
Which you counted as 156.
Based upon reports of city coordinators and CCTV footage.
there were 8 centers across the country where the wrong booklet was distributed.
Yes, let's, and
Now those 8 centers includes the 3 judges?
one of them at Judicial.
Two of them.
No, wrong distribution is.
Two of them.
Third was 100% Canara. Two at Judicial.
2 at judges.
Yes, let's.
Where the wrong booklet was distributed and then recalled.
Recalled and grace mark was given to those candidates.
Now, in the 8 centers across India, the same position that the papers were withdrawn.
Even time was not sufficient and therefore grace mark. But out of 4750 centers, this occurred, my lord, in 8 centers. 4,750 are the total number of centers throughout the country.
So 8, it happened that the wrong booklet was.
The wrong booklet. My lord, whenever, for example, Judger, out of 3, 1, they completed. They were not.
They have not been given a detail. They are being graded. So 1.
They are evaluated based on their answers, my lord.
It's actually incorrect. Let me clarify it. And then the senior colleague gave 3,300 are the total student where the wrong booklet was given, withdrawn midway.
No. And allowed to continue 3,000. Yes. They are 3,000 were allowed to continue. 3,300 wrong paper. They attempted the wrong question paper.
Okay.
150. Yes.
Now, the next question comes is, on 4th of June, when they declared the result, on their website, they declared only one key. One key means only
SBI.
They didn't declare any other key. How they evaluated Canara Bank questions which was attempted, and where is the separate result they declared for this 3,000 people who attempted Canara Bank paper?
Must have a key for Canara Bank also.
There is no key declared by them, my lord, till today. Let them show it today now.
Today.
No, not my lord. 1, 2.
All right. Now I'll tell you what. This is all okay. Now show us the data.
Let me complete, my lord. Now, in this Hardayal school, where originally there were 8 people who came.
At the end of it, assuming that
Lord,
problem happened.
Data is a circumstantial evidence.
They are looking at the entire country now. Show us the data. That's the heart of the matter.
Lord, I will just allow me 2 minutes, Lord, because this.
You said 2 minutes, 11:25. We are not.
In the meantime, they start, Lord. Let me just quickly complete it. I was dealing with Hardayal school, Lord. Allow me to just to complete 2-3 sentences, and then I'll straight away come to the data. Hardayal school, 500 students, they attempted Canara Bank paper. Just notice him, Lord, and let them respond at the end.
All right, we just Hardayal school. Judge, no?
That's right, Bahadurgarh Jhajjar.
Yes.
Canara Bank paper, no Canara Bank paper key available till date. After re-examination, all the students were taken in the re-examination. Though there was no delay, admittedly, in distributing question paper.
So all the students at this Hardayal school have been required to do a re-examination.
And in the re-examination, about 50% of them appeared, 50% of them did not appear.
That's also very spooky. Why do 50% not appear?
That's right. Only 813 out of 1,563 in total appeared in the re-examination. That's also data.
Got their original marks, opted to retain their original.
Now these 1563 are drawn from how many centers?
Lord, this they have not disclosed. They never disclose it, how many centers. They will answer it.
8 centers. Throughout. And as my learned friend rightly pointed out, they were given an option to retain the earlier marks.
And
they
all
didn't
is,
take a
Lord,
chance.
and all is being done behind the curtain. Nothing was declared. Every day they have been giving press release, but with regard to this, there is not a single press release.
things which, if you can ask, if you can just make a note of these 4 points, Mr. Solicitor and Mr. Kaushik. One, how many centers, at how many centers were the Canara Bank papers distributed? At how many centers totally were Canara Bank question booklets distributed? 2, out of those centers, at how many centers were the correct question booklets replaced?
Yes.
At how many centers were the correct question booklets replaced, namely of the State Bank of India?
Yes.
Third, how many centers totally where the questions which were evaluated were the Canara Bank paper, the Canara Bank booklets? Whether there were any centers which were evaluated on the basis of the Canara Bank booklet?
Yes.
All right.
Wrong paper was evaluated.
The paper was evaluated. And fourth, once the Canara Bank papers were evaluated, how did the candidates fare there?
Where is the key which they have ever declared till date? Canara Bank.
Why did not declare the key of the Canara Bank papers?
Yes.
Fifth,
Yes.
and finally, I want to know this, that before I formulate the question, suppose you and I go to Canara Bank or to State Bank of India and say, give me the question paper. You will not be given the question paper, right? How does Can Bank know that I'm the right person who is authorized to? So there has to be a letter of authorization,
Identity.
right?
Yes.
Now, who issues the letter of authorization?
Yes.
Letter of authorization is issued by the district in charge.
NT.
Director General NT.
Director General of NTA.
NTA to the city superintendent as well as centers coordinators.
Now, what does a person take to the bank? Suppose I'm the center in charge.
Yes.
Will I have an authorization both for SBI and for Can Bank, or I'll have only one authorization? Just ask that.
Yes.
City coordinator is authorized. I'm sorry. Only city coordinator is authorized, not centers. He
So the
distributes to
city
the-
coordinator is authorized to go.
I think should be for
Just
both
ask
banks
this line.
logically. For both the banks. Any from which bank? It is given, authorization is given 3 days prior to the exam
For both the banks.
for both the banks. Then
The city coordinator.
he is informed in the morning that you go to one of these banks and collect.
Now, if the city coordinator, suppose city coordinator was told in the morning of the 5th that you have to go to SBI, right? Now that city coordinator would have all the centers in that city will be under his control, right? Now, if the city coordinator, in this case at Judicial, go to the Can Bank and get Can Bank papers which were then distributed to all the centers in his jurisdiction, or some centers got SBI and some centers got.
That will have to be
He collected both.
Actually, will correct.
He collected both.
He collected both.
He collected both.
How did the city center? How did the city coordinator collect both? I mean, city coordinator at Judicial, he should have gone only to SBI,
Only one bank.
right?
Yes.
Now he went to Can Bank and he went to SBI both. Now all the centers under him did he distribute the Canbank question paper?
Let's one center Canbank paper was distributed, which was allowed to be continued. Two centers, the question paper was distributed Canbank, but it was withdrawn and SBI was given, that resulting in loss of time.
All Canbanks distributed, two of them realized the mistake
And
withdrew
Who
Canbank
realized the mistake?
out of the center coordinator.
No, but the center coordinator will.
Would not normally know, we'll take the effort.
center superintendents are different. City coordinator is for all the three centers.
Right. So at Judicial there were 3 centers,
Yes, please.
right? So he distributed the Canbank paper to all 3?
All three initially. And let's in from 2, it was withdrawn and correct question paper was
But
distributed.
then why did he not withdraw it from 1?
That we'll have to ask.
If he realized that he has made a mistake, he would have gone to all the 3 centers and said, look, I better give you the correct center. Why?
Time lapse may be the only reason it was realized at the other center. By that time, maybe the time gap had gone beyond the reasonable times.
Take instructions on that.
That's an assumption.
Yes, yes. We will take specific instructions. We'll prepare a note on all these 6 questions minutes and
You are right. Authorization will be given in advance. You can't give authorization in the morning. Then he's informed how? He's informed on his phone.
on what the minutes app, which is created for the purpose of coordination.
Who informs him?
There is an
The
NTA app.
Director and NTA will inform everyone across the country.
Yes, through the specific app created for this purpose of
That will be informed at 8 o'clock or so in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock.
There is an
And
application.
he was informed, go to the SBI.
Yes,
He went to both.
yes.
But is Canbank not informed that, look, your paper now don't distribute? Directors in NTA would be informing the Canbank that, look, your paper is not to be distributed. And he would inform SBI that only your paper is to be distributed, right?
Message goes to both the custodian as well as the city coordinator.
Then how did Canbank
Where the lapse has
distribute-
taken-
How did Canbank
Yes.
distribute it?
Where the lapse has taken place, we'll find out minutes and
There appears to be a lapse.
Right.
yes, that lapse is there.
Lord, there is another blunder. Hardayal School, in the first instance, despite the Canara Bank paper was given, allowed to be attempted, they gave grace marks to the students who appeared in the Hardayal School. And because of grace marks, 2 of the 8 students who came in the first
So,
topper.
Hardayal School, where the Canbank paper was distributed,
Yes.
students were given grace.
They gave grace marks.
Why?
And the evidence of grace marks is, out of the 2 students in the first 8 from the Hardayal School, they got 718 and 719 marks. When we questioned that how come anybody get this marks, they say it is because of grace marks. Otherwise, it's not possible.
So grace marks were given in Hardayal School.
Even for Hardayal School. Because on 4th of June, there was only 1 key.
So grace marks were given totally for 1563 students, right?
That's right. For all students, Lord, I believe.
No, not schools.
Thereafter, all these students were put in a re-examination. How, if Canara Bank paper was given and it was to be evaluated, where is the question of first giving them grace marks and then withdrawing the grace marks and putting them to again a retest?
It was a mistake which was corrected and retest. Now it's
Lord, how do I give a
let's
grace
argue
marks to
for
Canara
retest
Bank,
of the entire country
students?
based
Let
on
them answer.
two
Why
instances.
did you give grace marks to the Canara Bank students?
No, it was not given to the
Whenever they were,
One second.
whenever Canara
Who
paper
got
was,
the grace mark? Which body of students got the grace marks?
wherever Canara Bank's paper, the wrong paper, I'll use it, wrong paper, was initially given, taken back, and a new paper was given,
Grace marks.
resulting into the time not being available, grace marks were
So,
given.
do we understand you right? That grace marks were not given to those students who had appeared for the Canara Bank booklet, but who had completed the entire booklet.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
They were not given.
No, not.
So grace marks were given to only those students to whom a wrong booklet was given and it was withdrawn. Is
Yes.
that right? Is that clarity?
Yes, yes.
Lord, I will falsify the stand just now. Their response to my note at page 19, they have reproduced a table where grace marks have been given. In that table, the center 230701 Haryana Jajjar Hardayal School, they say that grace marks have been given. Please check it. This is what they have filed before this honorable court. And 287.
Hardyal school is a situation where the students attempted only the can bank paper.
Correct. And they,
But did any student at Hardyal school get grace marks?
they got a grace marks. So this is how they have conducted.
1 second. Mr. Kaushik,
Yes.
did students at Hardyal school also get grace marks?
I'll take specific clarification.
Just find out.
It's a systemic failure. Even only for Hardyal school, not the other two schools. Let them not.
For the reason, I'll clarify.
Only in Hardyal school grace marks.
Grace marks were given where?
Grace marks were given only to Hardyal school.
Yes.
Just it's not, they are trying to misrepresent facts without knowing the clear picture.
That's why we are absolutely with an open mind. We wanted to disclose. I mean,
Yes. Which I am instructed to say suffered loss of time despite the fact that they attempted Canara Bank question paper.
Why don't you do this in the afternoon? Just give us on a piece of paper the correct position and
Yes.
give them a copy so we understand.
Correct.
where we stand.
I'll
So we are
clear
not
a
just
note.
taking down
Let-
something they are saying, something they are
Yes,
saying.
let
we don't
them,
want to-
let them correctly understand it.
Okay. Then let him say, let him say,
Yes,
clarify.
a neat.
But you put it down on one sheet of paper by the afternoon, so
Yes.
we then take it as a statement.
Correct.
Because then I don't want later on, applications that you recorded
Yes.
wrongly.
There may be in the haste, there may be some confusion because they are jumping on.
So, Hardyal school grace marks were given.
Yes, the other,
Grace marks were given only in Hardyal school?
only in Hardyal Because I am told the reason is that in the other schools, grace period, that is time of loss, was compensated by the center itself. Extra time was given to them, as a result whereof they did not suffer any loss of time.
No, but tell us something. In Hardyal school, the paper was replaced with the correct paper later on?
I am told that both the papers happened to be given. After the confusion, the SBI paper was withdrawn and Canara Bank paper was allowed to be continued.
That's a fact.
In Hardyal school?
Yes,
That means in Hardyal school, all students wrote the Can Bank paper.
all
Can be form, put
Yes.
it on a piece of paper
Yes,
so that
we
there
will-
is a response.
Piece of paper.
Not just to,
Yes,
All students wrote the Can Bank paper at Hardyal school. Why were they given grace marks?
what we will do is, we will prepare the city-wise where this happened and center-wise. Why the different
Give it to us in the
Yeah.
afternoon. We will understand.
Yes,
Only one thing, my lord, just to put
papers replaced and under whose orders were the papers continued? Was NTA monitoring this from Delhi or what happened?
It is monitored from Delhi millets and millets communication.
So did Delhi get to know in the morning that look, the wrong paper has been disputed?
What time it came to the knowledge and what time the communication? Because millets, large number of centers.
Tell us
not large number.
Now, Mr. Huda, you have to wrap up.
But in fact, I'm not allowed to proceed by the other side.
I was on Hardayal school. There are 20 questions on Hardayal school itself. They made 4 statements. Let me show.
Only a minute. My learned friend is arguing that the entire country's examination is vitiated and therefore there should be a retest. Lord, giving examples of some mistakes here or there
a systemic failure,
out of 4,570 may not, Lord, serve his purpose of assisting the court.
I'm saying there is a systemic failure, and I'm sequentially demonstrate that how the system was so brittle and fragile, which was weak at the whims and fancies of these invigilators and city center operators who are private individuals, got nothing to do with the government. With regard to Judger, I'm just closing Judger. I want to say, in the first response, they said, Hardayal school, Canara paper was given. They attempted Canara paper. They evaluated Canara paper. No grace marks were given. This is their stand just now. They have changed it right now. With regard to the other 2 centers, they say there was a loss of time and that is why grace marks were given. Just now they said it. Now they have again said it with regard to those 2 centers. No grace marks were given. Extra time was given then and there. Who took the decision? My lords have rightly asked the question. Now, with regard to Hardayal school, just 2 facts I want to bring to my lord's notice. A student who got 719 marks in Hardayal school with grace marks, they were given re-examination along with this 1563. The same student had, earlier the rank was 68 with 719 marks out of 720. Now the rank is 58,413. With regard to the student who got 718 in the same Hardayal school, where the rank was 69, after re-examination, the rank is 38,497. Now they do not know whether Canara Bank was given or initially SBI was given. On 4th of June, they declare one result, that is SBI result. There is no separate key. They did not even disclose on 4th of June that there was loss of time. And that loss of time we have compensated with grace marks. This they had to come out with only when they were confronted with 719 marks and 718 marks, because this is not numerically possible with the number of marks and negative marking. Then they said, now in the entire country, what they do is, this NTA has collected about 400 crore rupees from the students. Thereafter, I give example of Seeker now, which is data-wise very important. Seeker has 49 centers in all. Out of 49 center, only one center is this Kendriya Vidyalaya. Rest 48 centers are all private schools, self-financed private schools. All their city coordinator, invigilators, superintendent are all private individuals whom NTA issue checks of 2,000 rupees a day or 2,500 or 1,500 rupees. Now, because this Honorable Court is kind enough to allow me to argue this case, because so many people have come to assist me. They've shown me photographs of the school, private school in a village where this exam is being conducted. It doesn't even have a boundary wall. Now, I have not gone through their entire process. I will not call it as a SOP. Now, that indicates that at 5:20, the paper is collected by the invigilator. And the OMR sheet is taken. OMR sheet is taken. Now, what is the time when this OMR sheet is to be sealed? It's nowhere present. It keep lying in every center with the center superintendent. And then they have to deposit it somewhere where all the OMR sheets are collected, like for seeker. There is one place where OMR sheets are ultimately collected in one center. There is no procedure NTA prescribed that 5:20 this OMR sheet is collected. Then 5:30 it should be sealed in the presence of the students. Because they have trained these invigilators across the country.
At what time do they get deposited with the centralized deposit?
There is no time given, Mullah. Let them file a specific affidavit if they ever in black and white.
How soon after the examination concludes at 5:30?
Blood, it is
the sealing process taking place?
Blood, they say that it is 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Ultimately, it gets deposited with the city center.
But before
What
that,
time
when
is
does the
the-
sealing takes place?
Blood, this I could not find in their entire SOP. I have placed it before the solver.
That's the point.
So, blood, I would say, I will show the data.
Now, Mr. Huda, please go to
Blood,
the
I'm coming to the data, blood.
Please come to it.
Yes. Now, blood, after analyzing the data, what we find, there are certain centers which are doing exceedingly well. It's mismatch.
Yes.
And because quota and seeker had equal number of students appearing, if we calculate first top centers in the country getting students having more than 650 rank, marks, then 38 center out of 49 center are only from seeker.
Getting over 650 marks.
That's right.
38.
38 out of 50.
What is 50?
50 top centers in the entire country.
West more than 650 marks.
That's right. If 650 is taken as a cutoff and we evaluate that what are the top 50 center in the country.
Where even one student gets more than 650.
That's right. So all students put together getting more than 650 are from seeker out of
38 out of 50
correct.
Are from
Seeker. Seeker alone. 38 centers. And 6 centers adjoining to Rajasthan, which falls in Haryana. That's a Mahendragarh, Bhiwani. Rewari, Mahendragarh, Bhiwani. And now, may kindly see this. There are 2 factors.
what I have taken down is that quota and seeker centers had broadly equal number of students appearing. Students getting more than 650 marks.
Yes, let me straight away show those charts,
38 out